Yo everybody, what's going on? This is Keegan from Kman Reviews. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like and the subscribe button, and if you have any opinions at all you would like to share, leave them down in the comment section. Scott Helman, Hôtel de Ville. Scott Helman, Canadian singer, songwriter, one of my favorite artists, period. I'm taking a little bit of a break from this viewer suggestion new album monotony, and doing some albums that I want to cover, whether good or bad. And I figured I'd start here since Scott has a new album coming out in a month that I will get to. But anyway, this is his debut studio album, Hôtel de Ville, released in 2017. This album really did a lot of things for Scott, really broke him into the international scene, touring with the likes of Dean Lewis, Walk Off the Earth, and even Shawn Mendes. And it was mostly thanks to the tunes off this record. So how does it hold up 3 years later? Let's find out as I review this album track by track. We'll start off with the singles, with there being 3 pre-release. The first one being 21 Days, which on paper is a little bit of a bizarre lead-off single. It's an acoustic guitar song, but goddammit do I adore every second of this tune. The guitar feels so virtuous and homely, and the thumping percussion has a very solid and admirable groove. Scott's voice, however, in my opinion, is probably the best I've ever heard him to date. It sounds so sincere, so honest, almost emotional as he's singing these lyrics about the zombies coming, wanting to love someone, living with them in a cardboard castle. And despite its post-apocalyptic element, it's sung with good intentions and feels very wholesome. Fantastic song, definitely a standout on this album. The second single, Kinda Complicated, really became a massive radio hit single, and I think it absolutely deserves to be one. It has a very fitting and appealing pop structure, the choruses have a wonderful sing-along value to them, and this rhythm is so infectious with its authentic drum work and engaging synth melodies. Plus, these background vocals are such a nice touch. They blend in really well with the instrumental, and so does Scott's voice. It has a very serious yet playful tone at the same time on this tune. I also really love these lyrics about this relationship that he calls unique, or just different, but Scott boils it down to being kinda complicated. Nice song, worth a listen. And the third and final single, Sweet Tooth, has a very urgent feeling to it. Bit of a faster tempo than traditionally expected, with glamorous synth work, and clean yet still aggressive drums. Although that chorus may just be one of the most earworm-worthy choruses in Scott's entire career. And the track as a whole has an exceptional amount of fluidity. Parts just transition into each other so unbelievably well, and it's catchy, it's engaging right out of the gate, all the way to the final coda at the end. And with these lyrics about taking drugs, comparing them to candy, saying how much he has this sweet tooth, it's entrancing, and I adore the song. Another standout here for sure. Now it's time for the rest of the tracks. The opener intro is just that, a 1 minute and 40-second long intro to the album. I do really like this guitar picking and drum work here. It feels very indie inspired as Scott introduces the album, and how he feels like there's this secret involved with the Hôtel de Ville. But aside from that, it's nothing special. Kites was one of the songs in 2017 I could never escape from. Not just because it was overplayed, but because I loved it so damn much I had it on repeat all the time. It opens up rather tamely with some strong pounding drums, and rather muted silent guitar picking, but what the real star of the show is the chorus. It's one of the most headbangable things in modern pop today. The percussion is incessant, loud, energetic, and Scott amps his vocals up to a near yell. And the melodies, the background vocals, it all conjoins into this stellar moment that really more people should know about. Lyrically, it's about having a lot of stress, anxieties, but one day just letting all of it go, flying like kites. Easily my favorite track on the album. I cannot recommend it to you any harder. Ripple Effect is a rather calm, inoffensive acoustic guitar-driven track. It's pretty relaxing, and it feels very genuine and sincere when combined with the very snappy percussion and dreamy ambient synth work. Scott delivers these lyrics with a very heartwarming and honest vocal tone. There are plenty of fantastic harmonies and melodies scattered across the stagnant tune, along with these lyrics about their parents having a negative effect on their social and love life, yet still wanting to make a beautiful life with this person. It's a soothing song, and I enjoy it quite a lot. PDA ended up becoming one of the biggest hits in Scott's career. It was everywhere on the radio in late 2017, early 2018, inescapable even here in Canada. And I will say that my enjoyment of the song has dwindled over time, as I've heard it way, way too much. But that still doesn't disclose it from being a good song. The main attraction here are these really recognizable synths. They're definitely not the most authentic feeling at all, but as soon as that chorus rolls around and Scott's harmonies come in, it's a fun time for all. The spoken word bridge does get a little bit tiresome after some repeated listens, however, and lyrically it's about not being ashamed of expressing a little PDA every now and then, and how there's no time to waste. Not a bad song, although I really did like it a lot more when the album came out. Chinese Restaurant is a little bit of a mundane tune here, which is mainly led by the very flat guitar work and the pounding drums on the verses. They almost give the tune a little bit of a drowsy element, really wearing it down. Although this chorus is very nice. It has a great melody, feels very solid and well structured with its snaps and soft, soothing synth work. Even if the first chorus, just cutting out a bit past halfway, feels a bit superfluous. The falsettos as well on the bridge would definitely take a bit of time to get used to, but I think they add some much needed character to the track. Lyrically, it's about meeting this girl once in a Chinese restaurant and how he never had the chance to talk her up, missing his opportunity entirely. Not a bad song. I'd still listen to it more often than not, but it could have been better. Gaslight is the other track from this album I think I could have placed in my favorite songs of 2017. I love how it opens up in this less than grand way with the ambient synths and the drum work kicks in, and it starts to gain a little bit of hype as it builds up to the incredible chorus. Scott sings across that, and the whole track for that matter, with so much passion, so much emotion. It's such a standout moment as he sings, like he's nearly bursting into tears. Lyrically, Scott's singing about this relationship, comparing it to a burning house and how it's essentially failing. How she won't get out of the house, she can't see the warnings or hear anybody calling out to her for that matter. Fantastic song, another recommendation. You Made Her is probably the track, if I had to pick, that would represent filler on this album. I've tried to listen to this song several times to see if I can find something, and nothing really stands out. And as I've explained plenty of times before, songs like this aren't bad, and that reigns true for this one as well. The guitar work is okay, Scott's melodies certainly aren't the most engaging, but they're also not the worst, and the chugging, thumping energy of the track just feels like he's trying to get lightning to strike twice, as he did a similar thing on Kites, but on a much stronger scale. In comparison to everything else, this one just feels weak, and lyrically it's about how this girl's parents don't like how she acts, but they made her, they shouldn't complain. It's still decent, but really gets overshadowed by practically everything else on this album. Origami falls right on that fine line between traditional ballad and catchy singer-songwriter jam. The extended atmospheric synths paired with the extremely muted and minimalistic percussion give it that ballad flavoring, but Scott is not singing this track like a ballad, he's singing it like a regular, maybe slightly toned down indie singer-songwriter jam. Which does give the track a little bit of a clashing aesthetic, although it does feel very powerful despite being an admittedly cheesy concept, singing about folding together like origami, but it's so obviously a love/sex song. Probably the worst, corniest lyrics on the album, but I still enjoy the song quite a lot. And finally, the closer House Key, which fittingly is the ballad of the album, and God, I adore the song. The spotlight here really goes to Scott's voice. It truly takes center stage, and God, it deserves it with its somber yet still hopeful delivery. And to back it up, it has this deep, flat guitar picking and extremely soft, fragile percussion to help make the song not completely grooveless. Very lightly building up with these synths that, in all honesty, add very little to the track overall. And lyrically, it's about wanting to live a life alone with this girl in a house with all these curated features. Maybe I was hoping for a little bit more of a soulful finale, but this is still great. Overall, this is a fantastic album, and was one of my favorites of 2017. This is just pure, genuine Canadian pop music. Fun melodies, engaging lyrical content, and doesn't all sound like it was made for a radio push. I urge you, if you've never heard of Scott Helman or his music, check him out. Check out this album, and go listen to his new album when it comes out in a month. It will be worth your time. I'm feeling a 9 out of 10 on this album. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.